The Wolf of Wall Street is everywhere. You've probably noticed if you've been anywhere near Instagram. You must have seen all the posts that use the Wolf of Wall Street footage or quotes as a sign of success and good business advice. But does the movie actually offer any good advice?
You gotta feed the geese to keep the blood flowing.
Let's find out. Alright, welcome back, Max Tornow here. Today we're going to review The Wolf of Wall Street, which is one of my all-time favorite movies because there's quite a lot of things to learn from if you want to become an entrepreneur. That being said, let's get started. It's such a good scene.
Tootski. No, thank you, though.
Mr. Hanna, what can I bring for you on this glorious afternoon?
Well, Hector, here's the game plan. You're gonna bring us 2 absolute martinis. You know how I like them, straight up. And then precisely 7.5 minutes after
He has the Jubilee band. It's actually very similar to the one that I have on my date just.
that, you're gonna bring us 2 more. Then 2 more after that every 5 minutes until one of us passes the fuck out.
All right, so one thing that I can tell you right away here that's a little bit romantic, taking drugs if you really, really want to perform on a high level. I see a lot of entrepreneurs do this. In fact, the guy that was in our office before us was also in online marketing, and he was like, so where do you guys get your cocaine from? And we're like, none of us takes cocaine. And it's really interesting because like the company culture within us is like eat clean, go to the gym, work out, get your sleep, take cold showers and all that jazz. There's something I really don't recommend you do, relying on outside substances in order to perform. On a long term, it's always much better to learn how to focus yourself without relying on things like caffeine or any harder drugs. So not a big fan of that.
I have X on it, 86.25 6 months ago. Today it is trading at 36.5. Mr. Butt.
They called it Black Monday. No shit. By 4 p.m., the market had dropped 508 points. The biggest plummet since the crash of '29.
Okay, so at this point, everything starts to go down south for the stock market because it's crashing. And I like this because a lot of entrepreneurs experience at least one of these so-called black swan events as well, whether that's a pandemic, whether that's people just freaking out because the housing market is crashing. And this is really something that separates the good entrepreneurs from the great entrepreneurs. We call this the sunny weather entrepreneurs. You want to be able to make money even when things are going down south, and that really is the key. And I always used to say the following: nobody's being helped if you lose your cool. You have to stay calm, and when it comes to building a business, things can never just go well. You have to weather the storm and keep pushing.
How much money you make?
I told you, 70,000. Well, technically 72,000 last month, something like that.
You made 72 grand in 1 month.
Yeah.
I tell you what. You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you.
Boom. I really like that attitude from Donnie here because he says, look, there's a much better opportunity that represents itself to me. I shall take that. And that kind of was the same for me with my very, very first business. I was literally willing to hop on a plane, take on $16,000 of debt, quit my job, quit my university, and move to a different country just so I could work for someone that I admire, just so I could work for someone that does what I want to be doing. And I admire that. And funnily enough, it paid off for me. Not saying you should do that as well, but I've seen this time and time again where people just leave things behind that are not beneficial to where they want to go, and they just grasp the opportunity. On a side note, I actually also had an assistant who went to an Ivy League school. He even worked for Elon Musk at SpaceX. He threw all of that away to go on tour with me as an unpaid assistant. If I had been able to pay him back then, I would have. Now we're good friends. Big shout out to Mike.
Fucking sleazy salesman, right? So, what do you say?
Okay, so this is actually pretty accurate because these are sales trainings, and any good sales team needs to be trained on a regular basis. So Jordan, obviously being a master in his craft, is training his sales team. The other thing that you can see here as well is they're using a script. A lot of people nowadays are like, don't use a script, just be natural, blah, blah, blah. No, look, if you really want to make money on a consistent basis and also do that on a predictable manner, you need to give your sales team a script.
Consistently make you money. Sound fair enough?
All right, so this is a little bit of Hollywood. Like, if you really want to excel at sales and make a lot of money with your company, you don't treat your clients like that. I think also that this is way over exaggerated, and I don't think Jordan Belfort actually used to do that. If he did, that's his thing. In general, if you really want people to pay you high amounts of money, you want to treat them well, and you want to come from the mindset of like, I want to help these people make a right decision, and I'm truly serving these people, not like I want to take money from them. So it's always like a giving and a win-win type of situation that you want to evoke.
Rhonda!
I'm gonna put you through to Andrea.
Has anybody seen Rhonda? Everybody have a good week?
Yeah, I love that. So it's like, that's actually pretty cool. When you have a well-working team, you're really providing value to your clients and you're making a ton of money from that. This is how it looks like. It's even in a smaller scale, even if you're just making 6 or 7 figures a year, everybody's hyped about an epic week. And yes, work hard, play hard is also absolutely a thing.
I hired my dad, Max, to maintain order as the enforcer, Stratton's very own Gestapo. We called him Mad Max because of his hair-trigger temper, which could be set off by something as innocuous as a ringing telephone.
Who the has the goddamn gall to call his house on a Tuesday night?
Okay, so that's actually funny. I actually did hire my dad as well. He's giving a helping hand in my business, but my dad is not as crazy as this guy, but he kind of reminds me of him. Shout out to my dad. Hey, it's a family business. Who the the goddamn equalizer?
That's where you f***ing been? With that f***ing for the party?
What are you doing here? I thought you were
So that's actually something I've seen happen quite a lot of times. A couple gets together, one of them starts getting into more and more money, and then that person starts self-sabotaging the relationship.
1, 2, 3.
What is this?
It's your wedding present.
What?
It's your wedding present, sweetheart.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Yacht?
Okay, so that's the thing about yachts, and actually Jordan Belfort himself mentioned that in an interview. He hated that yacht because all it did was eat money. Yachts are really expensive, and the problem about things like yachts is they cost you a lot of money even if you don't use them. Like I said, I'm not making as much money as Jordan Belfort, but at the same time, I know how that feels. In fact, last year I rented a much bigger apartment than the one I'm living in right now. That cost me 11 grand a month in rent. Most of the time though, I was never in there. I was traveling around, and even when I used it, I was literally just using 2 out of the 6 or 7 rooms that I had. I literally just wanted to sit on my living room table and work on my laptop. I didn't need to have all these extra rooms, let alone a gigantic terrace. Ultimately, I kind of felt the need to go back to the roots and just put my time on business instead of just having this big thing that I was never even using. And I kind of understand that Jordan said this yacht was one of his worst purchases ever. It's kind of a thing that you learn once you make more money. It's like, do I really need this? Or do I just kind of want this in order to be cool and impress people that I don't really care about?
Let's go. Come on.
I've been here all night. Let's go. Sitting here all night. What the f*** you talking about?
Where you taking it?
What you think?
Where you taking it? We ain't got no word. Just come up in people's house like that.
I'm sorry.
You drive your car tonight, Mr. Balfour?
Well? Wow. Maybe I hadn't made it home okay.
Okay, so I never drank and drive. I've never driven under the influence, but I did have my fair share of expensive car experiences. That happens. You rent nice, expensive cars and you try to drive fast. Stupid things happen. All right, that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you have other requests of things that you want me to review, post them in the comments down below. Other than that, subscribe and like. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.